Hi, today's Tuesday, June the 9th, and it has been 128 or slash 129 days since Nancy Guthrie disappeared. And I want to circle back to this story for just a minute, and I'll tell you why. When she disappeared, a handful of YouTubers and announcers, TV reporters, etc., were hanging out in front of her house, making sure that they keep her name alive because the family wasn't doing anything. The family, covered up their eyes and didn't want to be, talked about or didn't want to be, interviewed. Nobody cared. Savannah came on and cried a little bit, and that was it. If the family really cared, they would have gone to some of the vigils, or they would have come out and talked to some of these reporters and asked for help. But no, they have not. And on top of that, there's been rumors going on that Savannah hired a private detective and has paid $500,000. Well, she did not. Brian Enton said that was a lie. She never hired a private eye. So what is wrong with the family? Don't they care, or do they care and just are moving on with life? But anyway, circling back, I'm a little upset because there have been several YouTubers, 3 or 4, that have tried to keep the vigil going for Nancy in hopes that something would turn up, that somebody would contact them and say, here is a viable tip. So if you know me, I've been following JLR, Alex, Todd, and the Juice. Well, yesterday, Sheriff Nanos, well, before I go there, so there's a lady called Sue Ellen who is a neighbor of Nancy's, and she probably didn't even know her. But there was a vigil set up in front of Nancy's house with people who put flowers and cards and, notes and things. Well, that was taken down, and it was probably taken down by Sue Ellen, the witchy neighbor who literally pooped on the sidewalk so that the announcers and the YouTubers couldn't, pull their chairs there to be in front of Nancy's house reporting. She threw dog poop or real poop. I mean, I did see one picture where she was literally pooping in the street, and she moved all the rocks around and just got rid of all the nice notes and flowers. She wasn't arrested. Nobody's complaining about her, but they are complaining about the 3 or 4 leftover YouTubers that are there just trying to keep Nancy's name alive. I mean, the family covered up their eyes, and, Savannah cried a little bit, but nobody in the family has done anything. So, yesterday, these 3 YouTubers were arrested by Sheriff Nanos. Sheriff Do Nothing Fat Nanos. Alex, Todd, and the Juice. They were literally arrested, for being in front of Nancy Guthrie. They say that, that the neighbors were complaining. Nobody was complaining except for Sue Ellen, the witch who has harassed these YouTubers from day one. So, if you don't believe me, go ahead and Google and look it up. JLR wasn't there because he had some other place that he had to be, or I'm sure he would have been arrested too. So these arrests, so now these YouTubers have to reach out and get, attorneys for doing their job. I mean, I thought that announcing and, reporting was protected by the First Amendment. Apparently not when it comes to nanos. This mess, this Nancy Guthrie mess is a mess. And somebody needs to put a stop to it and arrest, I'm not going to say who, but arrest the last people that have seen her. So anyway, I just can't understand how people don't have compassion for the dead. The family may not care about their gone missing mother, and the neighbors may not care, but these YouTubers who cared were arrested. Literally arrested and put in jail with a bond. That's disgusting. And I'm really appalled about that. I mean, you think that ICE is out of hand? What about Sheriff Nanos and his team? They're way out of hand. Anyway, kind of mad about that, you know. I mean, we all contributed to helping them get out of jail, but they shouldn't have never been there. And shame on the Guthrie family. Just shame on all of them. They're, haven't done squat for their mother. That's all I have to say today. All right, bye.